And we're live. Happy Thursday, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Can you hear me, Freddie Blanton?
It's Thirsty Thursday. Let's get some Coors Light real early. Let's start drinking hard and get drunk as soon as possible. What do you think, Danny?
I don't know. I think I'd rather have a little coffee this morning, Fred.
Okay, all right.
Let's save the beer. A little coffee. How about that first sip, Fred? Don't have
First sip,
enough.
let's go.
Let's get it.
I thought we got our minds right by getting drunk. Am I wrong?
No. Different kind of getting your mind right. Choose your mind right wisely. Choose your mind right wisely. Freddie is feeling it this morning. After 494 days, I've picked up on the energy of my co-host, and Freddie is feeling it this morning. Are you feeling it, Freddie?
Oh man, I got up this morning, went to F3, had a really hard, intense workout, so I feel fantastic.
Yeah. What did you think about that little extra run at the end? We did the workout, and then somebody in the group calls out, "Let's do a little extra run," and then you
Yeah.
do it. What do you think of that? You like that?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
You did?
That's
You
why.
don't? You,
Yeah, that's why I went on it.
There you go. Well, good. Hey, let's see who's in the comments this morning to hear a fantastic guest. We're all going to have a fantastic day today because we're going to start it right here on First Sip. Good morning, my motivators. There's Larry Welinowski.
Larry.
And there's Mr. Paul Powell. Be ready to move the needle or seek a mentality reset. Let's go. Let's get it.
I feel like moving the needle.
Do you? I know you do. I know you do. He's ready to go. I got to give him room to run. There's Gary. Good morning, Gary. Great to have Gary on the bus. Great to have Joe. Great to have Paul. Great to have Larry. I know V-Dub is back in town. We need to get Julie on here. So we got a few minutes to let everybody get here. I love interviewing people, Freddie. I love meeting people. I love interviewing, learning their story. You've probably picked that up by now, haven't you?
Yeah, there's something about you that likes that real human connection. Get below that first layer. Let's figure out who people really are.
Let's figure out who people really are. And I think that it can be inspiring. I saw her pop in, and I told myself, as soon as we get Vita back on this bus, she's going to get right up on it. I prefer status quo myself. But here she goes. Get your mind right. There it was. Sorry. Get your mind right.
Is back.
Back on the bus. And, man, we missed that positive energy, that active energy. That's fantastic. Great to see you, V-Dub. Hey, Gary said he prefers status quo himself. He likes to keep it status quo. But
yeah,
what I think is interesting about people, we got an F3, somebody that we've kind of seen in F3. But when we see people and it's dark and you're running around, you don't really know them.
And no, well, I don't want people talking to me at F3. I didn't show up to be chatty Cathy.
Hey, nobody wants to talk to you either. They're scared of you. But I think that there's DJ. Great to see DJ on the bus. But I think that it's neat to talk to people, to have something like this, because the more we look, the more that we ask, man, there's some talented people. There's people that have done a lot of different things, and there's things to help us get inspired and make it through our own situation. So I like that. And as I looked at our guest for this morning, that's what I discovered. And so I am really super excited to meet someone new. What's on your mind, Freddie Blanton?
Oh, it's just funny that, our guest has been in Spartanburg and does all kind of stuff, but it was just recently, within the past 5 or 6 years, that I had ever even met him.
Exactly. And so, we have these people, they're coming, they're going. I know Michael Holmes is our guest. Maybe this will just be a very a very unprofessional intro, but Michael Holmes is our guest, and he's the owner of Squeegee Clean. And I have washed windows in the past. Have you ever cleaned windows before?
No, I call squeegee clean.
You call Squeegee Clean. We should all do. But I think that it's a great thing out there. Wash the window, squeegee it. And so I thought that you see people around town cleaning windows, ground floor, but no, he's doing some high rise type windows. And then I talked to Lieutenant Dan yesterday, and I learned that he also does a little hiking.
A little hiking.
Yes, that's what I said. I said he does a little hiking. So we're going to learn about his side project, and we're going to learn about the window cleaning business, and we're going to meet Michael Holmes. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen. By the way, if I had known the energy y'all would be bringing this morning, I wouldn't have had any coffee. That's all I needed, was just to see you guys and to hear Freddie just hooting and hollering.
Hey, I tell you, I just hit go, and Freddie brings such energy every morning, and I take a few punches, but it's kind of worth it, Michael.
I hear you, man.
Well, hey, we're super excited to have you here. And do you do a lot of podcasts and things like this? You do great work and great content. Do you like this type of thing?
Well, so in theory, I love this kind of stuff, but this is my first podcast. So grateful for you guys having me and doing this. This is fun. I've been excited about it.
Okay, well, absolutely. So take us back. The first thing that I would like to know, you know someone that I've known and got to know over the last several years, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh,
you knew him. You went to right here in Wofford College, and I think you were roommates with Lieutenant Dan.
We could just do a podcast about him. Forget all this other stuff. This is sideshow stuff, man. Let's talk about Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had loosely known him most of my life, but didn't really meet him till we went to Wofford together, and we roomed together the second, third, and fourth years there. So got to see a neat side of him and grow a really great friendship. So yeah.
How did you decide on Wofford College to go to Wofford, and take us back to that time period in your life?
Because I only applied to 2 schools. I didn't want to apply. I just was lazy. Didn't want to apply. No, it's funny. I grew up in Spartanburg, spent most of my life there, 98% of it. And you'd think that's funny. He wants to go to school in the same town. It's because I'd gone off to boarding school for 3 years. Kind of felt like I'd missed out on some of the high school experience. I was at Asheville School in North Carolina, which was a beautiful experience in retrospect, but felt like I just missed out on some of that quality time with some of with my family and friends and that kind of thing. So I came back, and yeah, it ended up being a pretty good decision.
Absolutely. And then you got into the window cleaning business. Yeah. And so I'm real curious how that started, how long you've been doing it. It looks like a great business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sort of stumbled upon that. So I used to do fun jobs over the summer when I was at Wofford. So, one summer I drove out to Colorado, worked on a ranch for the summer. Another summer I drove up to Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. And, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, you didn't go online to find a job. You opened up the classifieds, if y'all remember that. This was back in the mid-90s, right?
I do remember.
Yeah, so I scrolled the classifieds and saw a window cleaning position. I thought, that's interesting. Didn't even know people cleaned windows.
Yeah.
And it just seemed right up my alley. Physical work, outside work. Did that job that summer and absolutely fell in love with it. It's a neat job because your scenery changes every single day. You're not in the office. You're not staring at the same cubicle. You're getting to meet great people, hear their stories, clean their windows, which is a very gratifying experience. And so I fell in love with it. After that summer, came back to Spartanburg and kind of chatted up a few of my mom's friends and started cleaning their houses. And this was a side project for years and years because I was actually doing other stuff professionally in computer software sales, that kind of thing. But ultimately, I ended up for a large real estate developer in Spartanburg, when the economic crisis hit in '08, I was let go along with a lot of great people there, and said, "Hey, this is my opening. Let's take this thing full time."
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that you were actually right down here. I live downtown Spartanburg, so I know on your LinkedIn profile it looks like you're right down here on Daniel Morgan on a high rise.
Yep.
When did that enter the equation? I haven't. I've always thought those people hanging up there cleaning windows. That's a different deal altogether, is it not?
It's a totally different sport from what you typically see. Your average window cleaner, what we call route cleaners, which are the guys with a bucket and they go around from shopping center to shopping center cleaning those windows. I figured this would be a niche I could occupy. I had to learn on the job. Luckily, I wasn't starting from scratch. I had done some rock climbing, some rappelling, stuff like that. So I kind of knew the knots. I found a mentor that had done some high rise stuff. And so I picked it up within a few months of starting the company. So yeah, it's a fun aspect. It's only about 15 or 20% of what we do. Most of what we do is residential.
Okay.
But the high rise stuff is so fun. It is just so fun. And even after all these years, it even still scares me a little bit. So that reminds me that I'm still alive, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And it just seems like the perfect deal for you. Freddie Blanton, sorry for all the questions. I know Freddie's got something.
Well, what I like is, for a while, I always thought that if you came out of Wofford College, you were going to go work for George Dean. You were going to put on a suit and tie every day. And you're seeing it change more and more where there's a lot of entrepreneurs coming out of Wofford. What do you think that shift is?
Yeah, it's funny because I was sort of forced into being an entrepreneur. So I was never one of these guys. I always admired the guys that were entrepreneurs. You could see them, pick them out of a lineup real easily. Friends in town, I've got one that started a mulch business. He's done very well. He's a guy I consider an entrepreneur. I was sort of forced into it. When I was let go, I had to scramble, and it was sort of like, it's survival mode. You got to make something happen. There's no more excuses about, oh, I'm scared. Oh, what if this doesn't work out? You just do it, and then you see what happens. So it's funny. We do have some great entrepreneurs come out of that wonderful school, and it's nice to be mentioned in the same sentence. I wouldn't consider myself an entrepreneur. I'm a guy that stumbled into the business, and so I can't take the credit for being an entrepreneur. But I'm glad to be surrounded by people like that because they bring a lot of good energy.
Yeah.
What skills do you think make a good entrepreneur? Now that you were forced into it, what do you think makes a successful one?
Number one, you got to be scared. You got to stay scared and hungry. You can't rest on your laurels. Like, hey man, I had a good year this first year, second year, third year. You got to reinvent the wheel. And it's funny. I've noticed with myself, I go through periods. I'll go through a period for a few months where I'm like really ramped up, trying to kind of rebrand some stuff, fix some things, work on the SOP, look in the mirror and ask myself, what can I be doing better? I just don't want this to be a job I clock into. But then every now and again, you just kind of, you hit a plateau and you just punch in the clock. So I think the best thing is to stay hungry, to realize that what got you here today won't get you to the next step. You have to constantly be evolving. And that's something I do try and do.
I love that. Scared and hungry. That's the thing that I hear a lot, and I think it's a great one. I want to segue now. I spent some time last night watching some videos, and man, those were super impressive. Those were super impressive and inspiring. And so I'm trying to decide how I want to tell that story, but let's start with this. Some trails never stop calling you back. What do you mean by that? Well, let me frame this for us first. So you've been doing hiking obviously for a very long time. You've got a YouTube channel. You document these. You've got people with you. It looks like you've got a drone in these. These are really professional films. And I'm talking more excited because the more I watched, the more I saw that you've done a really heck of a job with these.
That's a generous assessment of my little project, my little YouTube channel.
Don't say that. You need to be like, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's funny. I luckily I had friends, and my parents got me into camping years ago, and we used to do big trips up to Pisgah National Forest. Big group campground called Cove Creek is probably where my love really started. But that's where our parents would just release us. There were like 40 or 50 kids there. It's just everybody in Spartanburg would camp up there that weekend, it seemed. And we would just go catch salamanders and crawdads and hike up the rock and try not to kill ourselves. And it was a beautiful thing. We felt like feral kids. We felt free. And that never left me. And as much as I love my business and everything else, the most passionate thing, other than my family, my daughter, my wife, the thing I'm most passionate about is hiking. I love exploring this massive, beautiful country we have. We are blessed to have so many landscapes, from the southwest canyon country to the northwest, Pacific old growth forest. The southeast, the southern Appalachians are unbelievable. They are beautiful. I pity the man that doesn't drive up the road an hour from Spartanburg and check it out occasionally, because it is stunning country. So I have just always had an affinity for landscapes, topography, hiking. And to me, hiking is like moving meditation. That's the thing. You get out there and your mind clears. It clears, and it is a beautiful thing. You can lose yourself and find yourself simultaneously.
Now, for a while, you carried that torch, didn't you? You still invited a bunch of people up there to the campground?
Correct. I did that for a while till people sort of outgrew it, which I hate to say we ever outgrow camping. And we nobody has to teach us early on that we love catching a frog out in the woods or hiking around or climbing a tree. You just do it. It's who we are. I think society sort of diminishes that, takes it away from us somehow for some reason.
Yeah. Is there Wi-Fi?
What's that?
Is there Wi-Fi out there?
Exactly. I mean, modernity is addictive. We get used to that stuff. But for me, if I can disconnect for a while, it literally resets my clocks. And I come back a better man, a better businessman, a better husband, a better father, a better friend. So hopefully we can all continue to seek that more often.
How often do you do the bigger, where you've got your recording equipment, you're going out to Colorado, you're going out to Utah, you're going out to Montana, you've recorded it. How often do you do trips like this?
As often as I can, which is to say only about once a year.
Okay.
Okay. I do a bunch of local hikes. I hike hundreds of miles and mountain bike hundreds of miles in Western North Carolina primarily. I have been section hiking the Appalachian Trail since I was 30. So that's now 21, 22 years. So I started hiking at the southern terminus. If y'all are familiar with the Appalachian Trail, it starts in northern Georgia, winds its way through the Appalachians about 2,200 miles and ends in north central Maine at Mount Katahdin. And when I was 30, just decided to go for a week-long hike, knocked off the 70 miles in Georgia, said, hey, this is kind of cool. I think I'll plan a follow-up trip. And so every year I take one or two trips, get on the trail, pick up where I left off, and got a trip planned in about a week with my bride, heading up to New Hampshire to pick up where we left off. So trying to get that done. But that is a side project to really, just hiking around Pisgah National Forest, Nantahala, some of these wonderful places we've been blessed with in this part of the world, and then occasionally getting out, like you said, to the big mountains, California, Utah, Montana, God's country out there. Love it.
Is it important to marry someone that likes hiking when you love hiking?
Is it ever? I think I did not. To me, as long as they accept your obsession with the mountains and with hiking, that's great. It's even better if they enjoy it too. And I've recently been married, and I knew this girl was the one while we were dating, she went out and took a little 5-day solo trip to Utah. She wanted to go see Zion. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Not many girls go out and take a little 5-day solo trip, and then she's tough too. She can get after the mileage.
Yeah.
Danny, could you take a 5-day solo trip in the mountains?
No. I would be calling I have Michael's number now. I'd be like, hey, But it's really when you have someone that has been there, done that, you can go to new places. You can go a little farther than you would feel like going on your own.
100%.
I put myself in that situation, and they're walking on the very top of this mountain, and it's like you see these types of videos, and it's like, oh, I can never get there. Well, somebody, and you just got a little closer.
That's right. Absolutely.
He's the same guy running around in F3, and now he's got a drone standing up on a mountain.
That's right. That's right.
And so,
yeah, we don't have to all reinvent the wheel. We've got friends that do these things. So like when people email me out of the blue or call me and say, hey, I'm looking to do a trip with my family, we want to do this, they give me their kind of parameters. I love kind of drafting up a little trip for them, and I can do that anywhere from a little day hike to if you want a week-long excursion somewhere, I can help you out.
Well, you're so passionate about it. It's odd. You watch, and when somebody puts that much, it's like somebody's got great plants. This person loves plants. They're putting their time into it. So I could tell as I was watching it, and even if you don't want to be a hiker, it says find your passion. That's what I thought. That's what we can show people through Michael is, man, I can do more. This guy's got a business, and he's trying to figure out ways to do what he really loves.
That's right.
And do this. What's this list you're checking off, Michael? What's this list you mentioned it a couple of times. Do you have an ongoing list of mountains that you would like, peaks that you would like to hit? Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah, so I keep little lists. I'm kind of a weirdo. I guess I love checklists. I don't know why. I think because it's gratifying. Yes, you do something, you check it off, you've been there. Doesn't mean you can't go back. I've visited some of these places multiple times, but one of my lists, it's kind of a funny one, is high pointing. So I like to hit the highest point of every state.
Oh yeah.
And
that's cool.
It's kind of a cool thing because if you think about it, yeah, every state's got a highest point. Now some of them aren't mountains. The highest point in Florida, for instance, is 345 feet in elevation. It's barely a hill. If you were there, you wouldn't know it. You don't need crampons, an ice axe, a Sherpa. It's just a little hike. Then you go out to like Denali, the highest point in Alaska. It's over 20,000 feet. It requires a month to summit. Significant training, time off from work, loads of money. But these things are the same. They hold the same weight in terms of high points. And so you got stuff, South Carolina, Sassafras Mountain. You got Mount Arvon in Michigan. You got fun ones out west like Gannett Peak in Wyoming. The highest is not Grand Teton, by the way. That's the second highest. But it's just a fun.
I was going to call you on that.
yeah. It's a lot of people think it's Grand Teton. It misses the high point by about 30 feet. Now it is more technical than the highest point, Gannett Peak, but these are beautiful places, and the mountains are kind of singular in and of themselves, because who doesn't want to climb a mountain if you're into that? But it's these little high points, like the high point of Ohio, which is called Campbell Hill. It's just a pretty little grassy park. You're like, but when you have these checklists, it sort of forces you into these brand new communities to meet new people, see places you wouldn't see, visit a state you wouldn't otherwise see. It's just a fun little project. It's a little fun project.
I love that, but it's something that Fred and I talk about a lot, right? Sometimes making magic in the mundane, and sometimes you said this in one of your videos, new landscape is as good as beautiful or the extravagant landscape. So instead of going out to Colorado, maybe you go to somewhere you haven't been before.
100%. 100%.
And so we can do that in our day-to-day thing. It's like instead of going this way, go that way. And suddenly you're seeing something new, and this gives you a new energy for yourself in a certain kind of way.
Yeah, we get used to zigging. We'll sometimes go zag,
Yes.
Why not? Take
right.
a different route to work. Maybe you see something, you experience something you didn't expect. So that's the beauty of it. And we all have some inner passion, and it's just go find out what that is. You're not going to be able to do as much as you want, but we all have 24 hours in the day. I mean, look at Freddie, man. He doesn't miss an F3. I'm sleeping in most of the time. This guy's making it happen.
You're going to have to start coming out, because we need hiking tips, man.
Y'all probably don't even see me there because I'm at the very end bringing up the rear. So I guess somebody's got to be last.
Hey, this has been awesome. I want to ask you, I think this is really about adventures, and it's about new adventures and trying new things. And so I wanted to hear what you may think might be a good motivation or something to encourage people to find it. I haven't been on enough adventures in my life. That's what I was sitting there thinking last night. I need to do more. I have the flexibility to do it. And I'm like, why am I not doing things like Michael's doing now? I'm not going to go out, as Freddie said, I'm not going to be by myself going to but we can start looking and trying new things. But now I'm saying what you're going to say, Michael.
Yeah. So you might say, hey, I'm a certain age. I've never done a big hike, for instance. I want to go. You don't have to start out on a 1 week, 2 week long adventure. You start by driving up to the Western North Carolina mountains, which is within reach of a day trip.
Yeah.
And hike 3 or 4 miles. And if you don't like it, hey, you don't have to do it again. But if you like it and you're curious about it, up the amperage a little bit on the next trip. Do something a little bit more challenging. Try a different area. I think that's what it's all about. And like I said earlier, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people around. If I wanted to get into golf, for instance, I'm not going to just go out and do it by myself. I'm going to talk to somebody who's into golf. So just do that. There are people around us, I think, and we can kind of springboard off of their experiences.
Yeah. Now, do you have one trip that you've been on that is by far your favorite? And give us a little glimpse of it.
That's hard. That's probably like saying which are my favorite kids. I guess maybe you are allowed to have a favorite kid. You just can't say it. I love anywhere I go can be just as magical, but I do love the Western mountains. The Rocky Mountains are amazing. And we did a 7 or 8 day trip with some friends and did about 70 miles through Montana a few years ago and tried to climb a peak. We're chased off of it because of bad, dangerous weather, but it ended up being just a cathartic experience, sharing that with the guys, just being out there for a week. That would be one of them, but honestly, there's so many I wouldn't have time to list.
When you go on these trips and you're planning it, one of the things as I was watching it, the thing that came to my mind, I was like, man, I'd love to see more conversations between Michael and the people that he's with, because I was wondering, what are y'all talking about? Right. Like I wanted to see almost like B-roll conversation, because now I'm with you on this adventure and I'm like, this is beautiful, but I'm like, who are these people that are with you? And I know they're not talkative, and I'm like, maybe he doesn't want talkative people with him. So.
No, I like that you mentioned that, because I would love to show more of the B-roll, as you mentioned, some of the mundane stuff, because sometimes that's where the real beauty is.
Yeah.
When I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail and I pass somebody, if you ever lock eyes with somebody, you can tell they want to talk about their experience, and you can sit there and have a 2-minute, 5-minute conversation with somebody from a different part of the world that shares your passion. They're on the trail for maybe different reasons than you, maybe similar, but they have something important to say. And I love those perspectives, and I should do a better job capturing those.
I think, quite honestly, with that kind of like, because I knew you, I was looking for that. I think with that, your videos, I think, because it personalizes it, it's like, now I know who Michael is, and I'm with that adventure, and you do an incredible job. I'm like, it's amazing. I don't even think I want to do content anymore, Freddie. Like,
well, I was saying, you have a camera. All you got to do is go on the next trip.
Hey.
You love asking questions.
There you go.
No,
I should bring you along, because you interview people better. See, that's not my skill set. So
you're the guy, Danny.
Hey,
where does I know we've been on the hiking and adventures. Where does Squeegee Clean go from today?
That's
how
a great.
Do they work together? How do they work together too? Yeah.
No, that's a great question. I go through periods where, it's funny. You watch an episode of Shark Tank, and you watch these real entrepreneurs. These are real entrepreneurs. And I get all geeked up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to scale this company. I'm going to buy a few more trucks and blow this thing out. And then I realize I kind of like where I am. I don't need to compare myself to Mark Cuban. I'm just a dude trying to make a living and enjoy himself in between jobs. And that's all I need to be. And I'm happy with that.
Hey, and that is a perfect spot.
For me, it is.
to me, this is balance, right? Like
Yeah.
I've got a business, I've got to make money, but I'm here on this planet to do stuff.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
in a race to like compete with everybody else. I'm
And
just
that should
trying
be
to
on a
do the
poster
thing cool.
somewhere. I have to work, but I can also do stuff. There's 24 hours in the day. Go enjoy some of it. So
Yeah.
100%, man. That
And then the
elusive
things you
thing we call balance.
That's right. The thing you love, and I saw you, you're cleaning windows and you're rappelling, and now you're on the side of a mountain and you're doing some rappelling, it looked like, right? You had to have everything. And so it kind of works together. And hey, this has been great. We had a lot of comments. I couldn't keep my eye on those. I was too involved in the conversation. So there you go.
Well,
But
it's been great talking with y'all. So if you want to check out my little project, it's Whistle Pig Films. Just
I'm
YouTube it.
and I'm gonna post it in the comments, everybody. I'm sure they've been asking for it. I'm gonna post your links in the comments, Squeegee Clean. And what was the name of it again? I'm sorry.
It's called Whistle Pig Films. That's another name for a marmot, which is a high altitude little animal we see on some of these Western trips. And I just love these guys, a little fat little rodent that runs around barking at you. And sometimes the guys in my group, they kind of remind me of one of those, especially the ones that haven't trained for the trips and are a little overweight. But anyway, Whistle Pig Films. Yeah.
Whistle
let me know
Pig
what kind of trips y'all want to see.
Yeah, check it out. Fred, final thought before we close
Michael,
it out?
give it to Michael.
Michael, final thought on this Thursday. The pressure is on you.
I'm just fired up for what you guys are doing, engaging people to share their stories. I think regardless of where we come from or what we do, there's so much more beyond the surface. And I appreciate you guys scratching off that first layer and getting to know me this morning. So
hey,
kudos.
thank you so much for that. Hey, that was fantastic. Hey, see everybody tomorrow. It's Friday. It's episode 495. See you then.